this time from the Marvel Legends 2012, we're going to be taking a look at the trade-out figure, or running change figure, from the Wrecking Crew slot, and that is Thunderball. I'm going to try not to make any James Bond references, because every time I hear his name, for some reason, I hear Tom Jones singing. So Thunderball here is the same exact mold except for his head. Everything else exactly the same, just repainted from the pile driver figure. And if we can pull him out, you can see that the difference between the two, besides the obvious. Now, I do have one technical issue with the paint job here. It's pretty smooth, and the yellow is, for the most part, pretty good, but you can see some green popping up in some spots. Yellow is a very hard color to paint over stuff on. And the main problem I have here is I believe that the trunks here should be in a different color yellow, but he's not like that on the packaging, so I will just say that this is a new suit that I just, is very different than the classic suit. For accessories, he does come with the yellow colored headpiece to Arnim Zola, which unfortunately I've put away until I can get the pieces to build another whole Arnim Zola. And he comes with the Wrecking Ball that is molded into one shape and one shape only. And since there is another Wrecking Ball that came with Pile Driver, I'm going to try and modify this one on my own, a Wrecking Ball with a real chain, or a simulated real chain. Now, Thunderball is Elliot Franklin, and he first appeared in Defenders number 17 in 1974. So this guy is about as old as I am, year-wise. Now, he has quite a different background than the rest of the Wrecking Crew, which for the most part are just kind of dumb criminals. Thugs, basically. Elliot Franklin was a physicist and engineer. So he actually created a mini gamma bomb, following up on the work of course, Bruce Banner. Now, he happened to work for Richmond Enterprises. His boss, who was not the head of the company and CEO, Kyle Richmond, who you might know has a background in the Defenders, his boss told him that he had no rights to the patents on his creations, because it was work for contract, work for hire, and thus he has a bit of a temper, so he basically threw a fit and was fired for creating a scene. And he then plotted to steal back his plans, but was caught in the act and incarcerated. And that's where he met Dirk Garthwaite, who was the Wrecker. Now, Dirk, him, and two other convicts, two other prisoners, decided to break out. And they worked so well together, and as a reward for helping him escape, that the Wrecker shared his power with the other three prisoners. And they all became members of the Wrecking Crew. And pretty soon after that, Franklin discovered how to pass on the Wrecker's crowbar's mystic powers to a wrecking ball and started carrying that around as a melee weapon. And basically it gained a lot more toughness and resistance to, I guess, everything, becoming stronger than normal steel. They had pretty prominent roles in the Secret Wars on the Beyonders battle world, and they were employed and joined in many other criminal empires or enterprises, again, basically as thugs and looking for nothing more than a payout. And so they're pretty simple in that their main drive is money and the acquisition of it. Now, Thunderball is a little bit, like I said, he's a little bit different than the other members of the Wrecking Crew, in that he's got some real intelligence behind him. And this oftentimes causes a lot of friction within the Wrecking Crew. He's tried several times to supplant the Wrecker as leader, but the other two members, Piledriver and Bulldozer, are a little bit more loyal and thus are pretty unwilling to give up control over the group to him totally. Now, there was a short time where they were all depowered and by Thor, and somehow Franklin came up with a way to recharge their energies using the Avenger. I guess she was then known as Photon, but she used to be Captain Marvel, and then changed her name to Photon and Pulsar, but that's so his scientific background came in handy to let all of them regain their powers. And let's see. Like the rest of the Wrecking Crew, he is part of the Hood's criminal faction right now. Obviously, the Wrecking Crew, they just make some really simple bad guys in that, they're tough, strong, and their motivation is simple. to get money. It doesn't matter how they get money or who gets in the way of them getting money, just as long as they do have some big score. And which is kind of refreshing once in a while. You don't need villains that have big grand plans. So that'll be it for the Wrecking Crew slot, the second switch out figure of Thunderball, and stay tuned. Hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on the big time Spider-Man, and that'll really end the reviews for the second series of Marvel Legends. Unless I finally manage to pick up pieces to make an Arnim Zola, which I will then do a video on Arnim Zola himself, not the Red Skull version of the character, but anyway. So until then, I'll see you.